Hello and welcome to another scene of Orlando Ascended. Once again, we found ourselves to the infamous, by now, house or communal home, however you want to call it, where Jesse, Damien, and Clea lives. And let's start with what they're doing at first, so then we can go to Octavia. Uh, it must start. Um, Clea is in her garage, doing garagey things. Uh, Probably either working out or working on some electronics. Probably doing some pull-ups. So there, that's what we're doing today. Uh, Damien, what you doing?
Damien, who has been out like almost all the day and said that he was doing some research in the Hermetic Library, comes back and just goes to the communal table in the chill out area and just sits down and takes a few deep breaths.
Jesse?
Jesse will knock at the outside of your garage, not from the house, but from outside. He looks like he hasn't had any sleep, and he has 2 boxes of donuts.
Okay, Clea will open the garage door, will press the button so that it opens, and continues to do the pull-ups. And we'll look at Jesse like, what the fuck, dude?
He's like gonna look around and like go in the house and like close the garage door. So hey, um,
What are
so
these?
you never seen donuts before?
I've seen donuts, but my dude, I think
It's
we need to
Krispy
have a
Kreme.
talk.
Try it; it's really good. But before that, I have
Okay,
to
give
tell you
me one.
something.
And whilst he's doing that, he's only pulling up with the cybernetic arm and taking
Yeah.
donut with the other one. Cause why the fuck not? We're
You
crazy
know that's
here.
really bad for your appendix, right? But anyway, so like, I need to tell you this real quick. I don't think Nina likes you very, very much.
I- well, I am aware, and I can tell you the feeling's mutual. Probably.
You should probably be nicer to her because she's like talking about some weird ass demons and like the Nefandi. I have no clue what the Nefandi is. I'm
Why
like,
am I supposed to be nice to her?
I don't know. She's like going to tell people apparently. Anyway, we need to like, what's the Nefandi? We need to figure it out. I'm like panicking
Well,
here.
from what Damien said, was that dude at the library.
Where is Damien? Maybe he knows the Nefandi. He's from the future after all.
I don't know. Call him out. He's probably
He's
somewhere.
gonna. He's like, Damien, are you here? He screams in the house. Hello, I have donuts. It's like Krispy Kreme. I don't know if they still serve Krispy Kreme in the future, but they're really good.
You just hear very muffled from the living room area. I'm here. I'm here. What's up?
We have a question to ask you, sir. Could you like come to the garage where it's stinking up?
Yeah,
Clea?
sure. And you hear a chair very noisily, being moved, and him ambling over to your end. He looks as if he hasn't slept like for 2 days. He's got some serious bags under his eyes. But goes, okay. By the way, if this question is, um,
Quad bike.
if this question is not that, but I mean if it is also a thing, maybe we should close the garage door. I don't want the neighbors
Oh,
to
it's
listen.
already closed.
Oh, good.
But
Okay.
still, you're presented with this pretty surreal scene. It's a little dude with a whole bunch of donuts and a cyborg hanging with one arm
Oh
from a
wait, did you say
pull-up
Krispy
bar,
Kreme?
and eating
Yeah,
donut with the other arm.
And
it is
and, and, and,
Krispy
and
Kreme.
he takes it and just sort of goes, yeah, cutting down on, put it that way. It doesn't matter, but yes, these are a little harder to get, and he munches on them and thoroughly
Yeah, while
enjoys
you're
it.
biting on them, Jesse would like, "What's a Nefandi?"
And he coughs at that. Okay, okay, that info I can give you because I know that in in this year other people know about it, so it's not really future knowledge. Okay, the Nefandi, and he pulls out his notebook. Just let me quickly look up, and he's going through the pages. I have this noted up somewhere.
Clea will start hanging from her legs and upside down and still eating the donut, by the way. Because why the fuck not?
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, one of them is
Okay,
good. It doesn't. I don't know, man.
so let me see. Let me see. Ah, yeah, here we have it. Nefandi are fallen mages. They are sometimes called Naraki by the Euthanatos, and have also got several different names by other traditions. Mhm. What have we got here? This is interesting. They represent the four of the Avatar essences. They are the primordial essence. These mages represent the desire to obliterate the entire Tellurium. Tellurium being the weave of existence we live in. Basically, reality and
Oh, so he
how we
wants to kill
envision
the
reality.
world. Is that it?
They I have heard rumor that a lot of them have inverted avatars.
So,
So instead of wanting to ascend, become, well, nobody knows it for sure, but some say that is becoming one with Prime again, for example, or the higher
why do I
existence
remember
that
this?
might or might not be up there.
Okay,
I
I have a
remember this from
question.
somewhere.
They actually try to descend and just destroy reality as we know it.
By the way, by this point, the donut is gone and she's doing some crunches on the bar because we need to burn the calories as soon as they go in or something. I was just gonna ask. So, okay, why does this chick think that the demon thing and the Nefandi thing have a thing together? Cause I
Which
don't know.
chick?
Uh,
Yeah, which chick Leah is gonna give you like this mean look on his face, like, what the fuck?
the one that doesn't like me.
Is gonna face bomb. It's supposed to be a secret. Damn it!
I don't think it's a secret, dude. Like she was here the other day and she kind of left because
What if she
apparently I
knows that
said
I told you
something.
about this?
You don't. I already know she doesn't like me, dude. That has nothing to do with you. Like, and if she says something, she's gonna have to do with me, okay?
Look, she's
Tell her
just
she
like,
can bring
um,
it.
no, I'm not gonna tell her anything. I don't want her to know I told you about that stuff.
Well, I already knew, so you're good. You're good.
I really don't know her that much. Maybe we can ask someone who knows if she is just like a cold bitch, but is like really, really kind and stuff. Maybe we could call Octavia. She seems to know more about
She is very
Yeah,
Area and
knowledgeable.
stuff.
yeah, you can call her. She's cool.
At this point, he's gonna dial Octavia's number on his phone. Ring a ding ding.
Fucking running experiments in her sanctum or some shit. Answers the
Yeah.
phone. Hello?
Uh, Hello. This is Jesse. I don't know if you remember me, ma'am. I was in the library
Yeah,
when.
I remember you.
Yeah.
You were
Hi.
you met us in the bar after the library incident.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering. Would you like to hang out with us? We're like doing stuff like
Doing stuff.
smoke
Oh,
stuff.
why didn't you start with that? I'm on my way. Send me an address.
Well, that was easy. Here's the address, ma'am. See you soon, and goodbye.
See ya.
And he's like, look at at Clea and Damon. Well, that was easy. I just
Well,
You just mentioned dope, and they come running. He
I
smiles.
mean, she was there at the house when we went to get some, and she was there to get some too. So you know. Did you tell her that we're in the garage, by the way?
Won't be
no.
necessary.
Why does
Don't
it
worry.
matter? Yeah, we can
Yeah,
just
didn't yell at the garage open?
No, no, it's closed.
Garage closed.
Oh, alright, cool, then I'll wait for you.
we can just knock at the front door. It's not like we won't hear it.
Oh, yeah, no, because
Exactly.
she's gonna knock on the front door, because she has no reason to think y'all's in the
Okay,
garage.
well, Clea will get off of the bar, of the monkey bar, and go fetch
How about we prepare
more
it?
puffs,
Yep.
cause she has this inflatable puffs for people to sit when they're in the garage.
Yeah.
There's
Then
there's also a bench where she bench presses, but she's not thinking that people would want to sit there, so she just gets the inflatable poofs.
yeah. So as they are setting up, Damien will go up to his room, rummage about, and come down with a few objects that he has in a bag and puts it beside the poof that he'll be sitting on.
Jesse will also come to his room and he's going to remove his contact lenses and actually wear some glasses for once. You guys have never seen Jesse without his contacts before or wearing a glasses before, so this is new.
Oh, hey, bro! I didn't know you were wearing glasses.
Look, I haven't slept and my eyes kinda hurt, so I'm just wearing glasses for
Yeah,
now.
go for it.
Why
And
didn't you sleep?
he
Look, I haven't had that stuff that you make me smoke, so I've been thinking a lot
Hey,
about that.
now, I'm not making you do
Look, I've
anything.
just been thinking, and it's really hard to sleep because I keep remembering about that house and the weird vampire thing and the soul I sold.
ugh.
I
It's
don't
like
think
antsy.
dude, you didn't sell any soul, dude. Like, the dude that was in the house, he's a hit mark. Do hit marks have souls?
I don't know what a hit mark is, but he said he wanted the name, so I gave the
It's
thing's
not
A
name.
human.
technocratic construct. It's an artificial intelligence. As far as I know, they don't have souls.
Yeah, you're good. Like, dude, come on.
I mean, uh,
What
I
if the
really would
name I
have a.
gave him is
Hmm?
this like it belongs to a real person, and I like sold his soul to that vampire dude, and that would
Hit marks shouldn't have souls, I don't think, because they're not people, you know?
Yeah. Damien rushes to the front door and opens up.
Yo,
Come in. We're starting the blazing.
hell yeah.
That's what
I
I
brought my
like
own.
to hear. And he closes the door. And he will bring you to the garage that is closed and has been prepared with inflatable seats and stuff and made comfortable. So, you're
yeah.
you're
When you
offered a
enter the
seat.
garage, you just hear Jesse going, "What if the thing that the name wasn't for the hit mark? What if it belongs to a real person? What then?" Um. Uh. Hi.
You know what? Let's simmer down, and how about we simmer down and then we can calmly talk about it if need be. But currently we
Yes.
have a guest here, so let's not let her wait.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Clea. Hey, Jesse.
Did the trouble? Did you have any trouble finding our place?
Nah, not really.
Nice, nice. I would suggest we go to the kitchen or like the living room, but well,
Why? I mean,
because
here it's nice. It's open. It's well, okay, it's not the most comfortable, I suppose, but I mean, why are you
welcome to
so?
Clea's humble abode, ma'am.
Yeah. By the way, since Octavia hasn't been here before, let me describe the place. It's like a garage. On one side, there's a motorcycle. Around the area are benches with, uh, different mechanical and electronic instruments and whatnot. There's a small bed, like those foldable beds. There's a bench for bench pressing and monkey bars, and that's about it. And the inflatable poofs for sitting down, and a huge ass ashtray, pretty much next to her bed.
So this is where the magic happens. Pun not intended, but you know what?
uh,
I'm gonna ride with it.
well, not much magic here. Here's where the technical stuff happens. I mean, for the magic stuff, I have other place.
Eh,
It's
technical stuff,
upstairs.
magical stuff, it's the same stuff when you get down to it.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I fully agree. Different terminologies, but at the end of the day, we're still manipulating the same forces.
Well,
Speaking of horses, she looks
yeah.
over with a devious smile. I've been thinking of a spell.
Oh,
Okay.
Alrighty. So, how much trouble have you guys had, containing the smoke? Or at least containing the smell of the smoke?
Containing it. I mean,
Yeah, because if it
smoke.
gets out, people start getting suspicious, start getting crazy,
Damien's eyes just widen in delight, like anticipation.
Well, to be fair, I didn't have
Ah,
any neighbors come knocking or any police people coming.
not
But
yet. But are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? And
oh,
he looks very eagerly at Octavia.
oh wait.
Maybe
I am.
creating a type of dome or some sort of sphere which keeps everything nice and in, similar to a tent.
Ooh, that would be
Yes,
cool as fuck.
whilst at the same time allowing air to come in so that way we don't
We don't
suffocate.
suffocate, yes.
Is this going to be anything like Mr. Darren's spell?
I have
You
no
know,
idea.
I don't think so. No, no,
okay. Because that was really weird, and I don't want to do that again.
no. I don't
No,
think that's
no.
what this is. This is just making like,
It's
okay,
forces, not
uh,
mind.
okay. Like listen, it's like you if you take a puff and you blow it inside a balloon, and imagine yourself that you're inside that balloon and you're just in there and the balloon is closed, right?
Okay, okay. That doesn't seem bad. It'll
But of course,
probably.
making sure that air continues to come in so that you don't pass out.
Yeah.
I mean, we could rig something up, I think.
I don't know how you guys call it, but where I'm from, we call that hotboxing.
Good to know that still exists.
Oh, it does. It has very old roots. And talking about that, it's actually interesting that you bring that up. Let me just. And he produces a three-legged, very nicely decorated bronze Scythian incense burner and puts it in the middle.
She just
If you're
throws it
able
out
to
there.
do that, we can do it like the old Scythians did. I would put some coal in, have the stuff burn on it itself, and then in the force field, or however you call it, the hotbox then starts creating as if it were in a tent. I've wanted to do this for a long time.
Okay, but how about the air? I mean, I can rig something up real quick if you want. Like, Oh, well, I can't have the window open per se, but maybe we can put a little
I mean,
fan.
Do you have any
can
skill with the matter sphere? You know anything about chemistry?
Yeah?
I'm sure that you could probably do something with just the molecules in the air and make sure that they're also still oxygen. Oxygen. Do you think that's possible?
Uh, I don't know if I have enough stuff around here, but what I can do is. Okay, give me a second. And she's gonna
All
take
right.
a box under one of the things and start rummaging in there. Okay, here's what I got. It's pretty much a computer fan. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut a hole in the window. I'm gonna put the fan there so it can suck air in, but without putting air out. Does that make sense? Well, I
Yes.
can do that. Just give me a few minutes. I need to cut this hole in the window.
All right.
talk about Occam's razor.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna set up the dome. I'm gonna need to get the dimensions on this place and start setting up some stuff. Do you guys mind if I use some chalk? Do you have any chalk here?
And Damien produces chalk in 6 different colors. Pick.
Why
Perfect.
do you need so much chalk, man? I don't get it.
Why? Because I use a rune galder.
That sounds
A
very
what now?
um.
Basically, as part of. Wait a sec. Is that bad manners if I explain how I do it? Will I get in trouble for that?
What?
Um, I don't
No,
know.
it actually
Um,
shouldn't be because I came up with this system. But I basically use different type of rune staves to get effects, and for that sometimes I need chalk.
Oh, I see.
Or if I have to set up a barrier against ghosts and stuff like that.
And pretty much Clea will go to the window with a plasma cutter and start cutting a hole in the window.
Oh
you see,
shit.
just Jesse like fucking shaking his head, like, "What the fuck are you doing to the house?"
Oh yeah. Um, for Octavia's part, Octavia is going around select points in the room, and drawing. Okay, she's not drawing arcane symbols. She's actually drawing different mathematical equations.
Hmm.
She's like, if there's like any like measuring tape, she's grabbing that, measuring shit,
Are
writing
those
stuff.
equations actually solvable?
Yes, actually, these are a lot of
Because
equations that are
that's gonna
used
be
for like,
fun, because Clea is really into numbers and science.
yeah, she uses yeah, it's a lot of stuff that actually is used for like determining wind and things like that. And there are a few like arcane symbols and shit, but it's a lot of it is actually like scientific.
Okay.
I'm
There's a lot
debating.
too because yeah. Sorry about that, Jesse. Go ahead.
I'm debating whether to actually smoke with you or to like get away so I can keep thinking about this stuff.
No, you
What?
shouldn't
No.
be thinking about stuff that are not, you know, it's look, dude, like you gave the name of that particular person, not someone else, and that particular person is a hit mark, so he doesn't have a soul. So you're good, you're fine. Just let it go. Leave the donuts aside. Come chill with us, and
Have you checked
checked what?
What?
if hit marks have souls? You mentioned there's mention of one that was more organic, right?
Yeah.
What if that one does?
Well, it's still a hit mark though.
How do we know if it doesn't
That's
have a
not what I'm saying.
soul?
That's not what I'm calling into question. Really, I'm more just bringing up like
We're supposed to make him chill, not make him worry more.
listen, we're gonna be chilling in a minute. Give me like 5 more minutes.
Well, yeah, I still need to finish with his rig. And by now there's a hole in the window and a fan fastened on it, and she has a tube of silicone running around the fucking rim of the fan.
You know you have to fix that later, right?
No, fuck that.
You don't own this house.
Well, I'm not out of it yet, so it doesn't need to be fixed yet. Now
Oh,
help me out here. There's some cables there on the in the box. Can you bring me
okay.
Jesse's
a couple of them so I can rig this shit up?
Jesse's gonna
So,
sign. He's gonna put the donuts on the table or somewhere where he can put it, and he's going to help you out.
all right. So here's how I think this is going to work. Okay. So as we breathe, we're exhaling carbon dioxide.
Correct.
As that fan's bringing in oxygen, as we breathe out carbon dioxide, that's going to be filtered out. So that way, there's the same amount of like mass in here. Just, things are just getting filtered out. That's how this is going to be working. That's how we don't die.
Yeah.
Should we like get some moss so it can make oxygen or something?
Uh,
I
that's why
mean,
we have the hole in the window with the fan so it can bring in the oxygen from outside. You know?
Okay.
And let's plug this in. And we're gonna connect the cables. Oh, do you see a plug there somewhere in the box? I need something to connect it to something.
Uh, will this work?
Let me see. Yeah, we need to make sure that it alternates current. But yeah, don't worry. I'll get it done. Just yeah.
oh, Helen. So look over to Damien. Do you know how much we're going to be using during this? Because I'm going to probably need to get some weight. So that way I
Okay.
know how much air to circulate. And
Uh, Yeah, at which point he simply goes, let me see, he produces a small electronic scale and measures out a few grams out and gives you the exact number. Okay,
okay,
definitely not
alrighty.
more than 3 grams, which should amount
She,
to,
she, she's going to fucking pull out a PDA because those are a thing right at this time
yeah,
instead of smartphones. Start doing some fucking calculations and shit.
Well, I have more if we run out. You know.
Okay, okay. I
but
think
for
I've
the
got
moment,
this.
let's stick with this.
Yeah.
God damn it, beg your pardon, God damn it. I have to say, you hermetics really have your system set out. Almost makes me jealous. And he smiles nervously.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Oh, I've at least got a gut feeling I know what she's doing here. This is very interesting.
I mean, what do you think I'm doing? I'm curious, genuinely.
You seem to be using some form of mathematics as your language to manipulate the forces. You're obviously also doing some calculations, I would guess. Mind you, this is purely guesswork on my part. I come from the soft sciences, not the hard ones. We've got there. This looks as if that's for regulating airflow. Okay, definitely some arcane symbols there. Not quite sure for what they stand for. And the rest, I have to say, is guesswork.
Well, I can understand the calculations
But
at
but at
least.
least, yeah.
I don't know about the
But at the very
symbols,
least,
but
hmm,
that's I think your territory, not mine.
hmm, yeah. Mind you, it could be that I've got the wrong information and that I would wrongly associate any points at certain arcane symbols. Probably I would misattribute them, which could be very dangerous if I would try to copy the same process.
Well, you're pretty close. Basically, what I'm doing here, it's very similar to how any other scientist would do. Basically, I'm not necessarily creating a controlled environment, but I'm measuring our environment. That way, the
Yeah.
smell that I produce is, well, as perfect as it can be.
Ah, sometimes I really wish my mentor wouldn't have died that night.
And
27.
there it is. Let's try it out. And Clea will
Okay.
plug in the fan to a, well, it's like a bunch of cables connected to a small board that that makes a, whatever comes from the outlet be what's the fucking word? Fuck. Transform to the whatever the fan needs and not more than that. I don't remember how you call this device anyway. And she plugs it in, and sure enough, the fan is bringing in air.
Yep.
Then
No, it's a computer fan though. It's not like a vent fan.
I feel you. Is Damien lighting it up?
Yeah, Damien has put the piece of coal in the middle of the brazier and is just holding it over the coal and saying, ready when you are.
Alrighty. Um, what Octavia's going to do is you see her kind of briskly walking over the room, and she's going to start laying her hand right underneath each calculation that she's made. Um, say a whole bunch of scientific bullshit, as well as some numerology bullshit. Um, and systematically, the ones that she drew all over the garage, she just keeps doing that and keeps doing that. And then you start, we're not doing dice rolls for RJ on smoking weed, right?
Yeah, I mean, agreed.
Okay. So yeah, as she does that, y'all start to feel like a gathering wind kind of circulate. It's soft. It's not like harsh, like like she's not making a tornado in here. Um, but as the smoke starts to rise up, it starts to dissipate and starts to equally distribute all over. And the hot box is starting, but y'all can still breathe.
I don't feel so good.
You'll be fine.
You'll just have to power through it, mate. Trust me, it'll be worth it afterwards.
Uh,
This reminds me of the first time Clea gave me that blunt thingy and I smoked all of it in one go.
Oh, wow, now that's what I call a trooper.
uh, that's what I
She
call
she got
stupid.
you didn't tell me I shouldn't do that.
Well, I told you when we went for drinks that you should savor things, but you apparently like to, you know. Anyway, and Cleo will flop down one of the puffs, and she will actually start blurting out the calculations and their solutions compulsively without really realizing it.
Mhm.
Like in a humming manner, not like out loud, like you know, like mumbling to herself.
Yeah. Would you like a donut, Lady Octavia?
Okay, dude, we're getting high. I'm gonna need you to drop the lady.
I'm sorry, it's a bad habit.
It's cool, man. Also, yes, please, thank you.
Here you go. Uh, do all her medics have wands?
Most do.
Uh,
Why?
I've only ever given a lighter.
Okay, well, why? Do you want me to actually break it down?
Uh, I'm not
Produces a
sure.
notebook.
All right. So, a wand is. You ever read Harry Potter? No, you didn't. Okay.
I have.
I haven't.
Okay, you have. Okay. So
I
basically,
watched the films.
Films?
What? There's
film.
films?
Whoops, I said too much.
Okay. Quad bike.
Quad bike.
Okay.
I think you're breaking Jesse.
All right, so everyone, right? It's made for you. Like, if you had a wand, I couldn't really use your wand the same way I use my wand, right? It's
Yes.
basically what it is. It's a very personalized thing. Okay, if you don't make it yourself, you at least have someone else kind of make it for you, and you just kind of tell them what's going on. You can go fucking cosplay people for that shit. It's fine. But when you make something like that, it's a little bit like a party, right? It's like an extension of yourself. And when you invest that, it lets you kind of extend. You know what I mean? It lets you extend further out through all the layers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like my arm, only it's not attached.
Kind of,
Uh,
yeah.
Well, I
so
find it quite limited then.
Fair enough. I'm sure some people probably would use like a prosthetic arm for something like that. I was really curious about it when I first saw it. I'm not gonna lie.
well, what you're describing is a hermetic specialized foci in that case, because the foci I use work on the same principle. I actually even cut and he starts producing some Bronze Age weaponry and other occult shit out of his bag and putting it on the side. These here I actually made myself, and I was able to imbue them with a bit of myself in them, and they basically work similar to your wands.
Yep, it's the exact same principle.
When you
Hmm.
say you put some of yourself in that, and you're a
Well, I
Well,
attuned
verbena,
it to myself.
so
I
that's kind
attuned
of
it.
scary.
Why that? And he raises an eyebrow.
Well, because I heard that the verbena are using body fluids for shit. Like the breast milk the dude is using.
Ugh.
I
Did you put
I've heard
some?
about that. I don't know a lot about that.
Well, for one thing, I don't. I basically work on symbols.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Because I was like, yeah, that would be weird thing to do.
Are
Sorry.
you
No,
are,
I
I
My
will admit
mentor.
I am curious about the applications. I've been wanting to look into that.
Uh,
Not to
my
do it
men.
like no. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off, Jesse.
It's fine. I was just going to say my mentor, Professor Perkins. He didn't give me a wand or make me one, but I know he has one. But he gave me this. He pulls out a lighter with like it's red and it has some weird ass symbols on it, and he taught me how to cast spells using Latin.
Are you a pyromancer?
He's a
Well,
pyromaniac.
I would I would like to control fire because when I awoken, I basically became a bomb, a supernova. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to burn anything anymore. Well, I still want to burn stuff, but just like not like kill like a lot of people and stuff. You
Dude,
know?
What if they're bad people?
I don't
dude,
know.
dude, Jesse,
What?
you should become a black hole.
A what?
Okay,
You
listen.
don't know what a
Like,
black hole is?
I
yeah,
know what a black hole is. I don't know what the black hole means in magic.
you should. All right, what it means, you should take in all the knowledge, right? You should just take all that in and just compress that. And that compression, that is you. The sum of all of your knowledge and experiences.
That's
Okay.
pretty deep, man.
I'm high as fuck. That's not even magic shit.
Yeah.
I just, I just,
By the way, we were talking about the what's her name, dude?
Mina.
Yeah, that.
He's gonna like glare at you, Jesse.
Yeah, like
Like,
I think she might be dangerous
why?
because he thinks my friend is bad.
Okay, isn't this like the demon?
No,
This is the
she's one
demon.
of yous.
No, I'm not talking about Mina. I'm talking about your friend.
No,
Friend.
no. Oh wait, you were not at the park.
Man, listen, I kept hearing shit. You kept hearing shit about demons. All right, that's all we heard. That's why. All right, listen. Dan, did you tell him? Looks over at Jesse, not even mad, but like,
No. She was just really mad in the park. Do you want me to roll bluff on that shit?
No, cause she was here the other day and she was telling me the same shit she was saying at the park, and I'm scared for my friend now, cause she seems to be dangerous.
I don't think she's gonna go after your friend. But I listen. All right, listen. I don't know what you did. I don't know the whole situation. Like me, listen, me, Jesse, and Nina did have a conversation. I was concerned. I am concerned. I ain't even gonna front. I ain't even gonna front. I was concerned. All right, you don't fuck with demons. That shit's dangerous. Okay, that shit gets you tribunals. Okay, and like I don't know what your relationship with this dude is. I'm not even trying to make any implications about that shit right now. But that shit,
Man,
that shit can
but
get
I've been
bad.
hearing that this shit's dangerous and whatnot, but I'm not hearing anything specific about it. Like, what exactly? He's going to church for fuck's sake, and the church lady's there, who's also a mage,
Does that mean,
and then he was at the Hermes Order headquarters when we were there, and he
yeah, that's concerning to me too. I don't know. I want to ask about that. But keep
but
going.
he's not evil.
We're not saying she is. We are, however, saying like there's a lot. The not just the hermetics. All right, Clay. I want to clarify that shit. Not just the hermetics. This is like the traditions. All right, the traditions. The traditions. They they clap
But the
down.
serious dude, if he's having him as an associate, doesn't that mean that he's like
She means Professor
trustworthy?
Xavier, by the way.
Uh, listen, like, listen. Okay, here's the deal. On my end, all right. I'd rather not fuck around with me. I'm not. I'm not necessarily saying whatever. Like, I'm just saying like if our higher ups.
But he's cool, and you people don't know him even. You can judge people you don't know. It's just
Claire,
it's not right, man.
listen. I There's been a whole bunch of stories about this shit. All right. They ever tell you about fucking fucking Lil Ray from the 30s?
From the what?
From the 30s, from the 1930s, player.
I wasn't alive then, I don't think.
I read about that shit. He made a deal with a demon, right? Because
Oh, just don't.
he made a deal with the demon because he wanted the bitches. He didn't have a life sphere, so he made a deal with the demon to get the bitches. You know what happened? He got the bitches, but his dick fell off.
I mean,
What?
I don't think you
So he
fully
can't do
understand the scope of this, association here, because I didn't hear of any deals here.
Because that's the shit I
he's
would do.
just
Okay?
helping. Like he didn't ask for a deal. I mean, he is a dealer at the casino. If that, but is that what you mean?
No, that's surely not what you means.
Yeah, no, because see, I don't know about this situation. That's why I didn't pop off. Like, because I started hearing something, I was like, I feel like maybe we should talk to somebody about this.
Well, talk to the serious dude. I mean, he can like probably like tell you that number one's cool, and yeah.
Who's number one?
Just gonna look at Clea and say nothing. Like, I mean, tell him if you want to look.
But we've been talking about him this time. Yeah.
Clear, please don't forget that most of us don't use numbers to associate people with names. We just use
Yeah, I need
names.
to get my notebook. Fuck.
Listen, if you give me your code and the new and like the numbers and shit involved, I can work it out. But I gotta know your system. I can work it out, but I gotta know your system.
Oh no, I just
So,
assign a number to a person so I can, at some point be able to remember the names. Like I remember uh, Jesse, I remember, and Damien, I remember, and Cat, but not because of Cat, because of the cat, the animal. But yeah, that's another story.
Yeah,
I
cat,
don't really
cat.
fuck that.
Yeah,
Well, all right, I feel.
but yeah, I see them every day, so I can remember them. But the other people that I don't see every day, I have to check. So let me get my notebook. Yeah, Taryn. Yeah, Taryn. He's the number one.
So, all right, listen. Side note. I think I've got a way to make that shit easier for you. Why not turn people's names into equations?
Wouldn't that be harder?
Wouldn't that be better?
I
It
don't
would.
know.
Oh well, it would be the same to me, but I think it
There
would
you
make it
go.
more complicated for them. I
Listen,
mean,
if
the
you
little
call me,
vampire is like 5 by 7, so that's sort of a
listen,
Five,
calculation.
five, seven.
listen, if you call me fucking, Pythagorean's homegirl number 69, I'm cool with that because then I'll know I'm 69.
No, your number.
I wanted to
No.
be
Why everyone's
69.
so. Why everyone wants to be
Because it's the best
69?
number.
No, people,
It's the
stop.
best
And
number.
It is the
by the
best
way,
number.
you're number 30. Y-
Wait, I'm number
yes,
30?
Jesse is number 4. Damien is number 8.
Number 30. I'll fuck with being number 30. What? Can I be number 38? My name's like
No,
my name's like
you've already been
Play it.
assigned. I'm not changing numbers. This will just confuse me. Just
People,
Asking you.
people, calm down, chill.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll
Do
be
I have
chill.
to be the voice of reason here? Seriously?
I think that's the whole point why you're around, because you're balancing our crazy shit down
Yeah.
for some reason, which is
You know,
Yeah,
crazy,
of,
huh?
of all people, the futurist cyborg archaeologist Verbain. Well, technically, I can't call
you're
myself
a
a Verbainer for
cyborg?
the moment.
What? You're a
Yes,
cyborg too?
Quad bike?
What the
Quad bike?
Oh
fuck?
yeah, he
Quad
didn't
bike?
know. Oh
Oh,
shit.
wait, is this not quad bike? Do you actually have cybernetics?
I have one cybernetic organ in my body.
You will hear Jesse go, Aspectus! And he's gonna like stare into your body.
Okay, you see that where Damien's heart should be, there
If he
is
has the red
a
sphere, though.
heart-shaped machine that is full to the
I
brim
can't.
with
Do you
prime
have
energy.
matter and
Let me
prime?
check. I actually forgot. I have Prime. I don't
So you
remember if I
just
have
see a
Matter.
You
glowing
don't have
heart
matter?
where a normal heart should
I
be.
don't have Matter. I have
Oh,
Prime.
yeah.
So that's what you
Yeah,
see.
see, I knew that like from the first moment, but it's not something that we discuss like openly and whatnot, because then we had to talk about it, and yeah.
Are people from the future like all cyborgs now? Is that what happens?
I
What?
don't think we can ask them.
Alright.
How about you ask me a question that would be related but had to do with a film? then I might be able to answer you.
You mean future films? Because wouldn't that be a
Uh,
problem too?
no, because the film I'm thinking of is called Ghost in the Shell,
Oh,
Oh,
and
Ghost
that
in the
already
Shell.
came out.
that's my shit.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to get Leah to watch it, but she wouldn't. She wouldn't.
Oh, she's so should. But question: does in that film everyone have cybernetics?
I'm
Does
sure.
Yes.
absolutely everyone have cybernetics there?
Will I end up like that?
In Ghost in the Shell, aren't there characters who still have, are basically still human and don't have any electronics and stuff in them?
Oh shit, am I the
So
regular people? I think I might be the regular people. The ones that ain't major.
Those that aren't major, those that are not Bateau, not Monkey Face, but the guy with the heavy pistol.
oh,
He's got hardly to none. So I would say that is closer to the future.
oh, that's good.
But
Uh,
but that's the extent I can go with it. Just know that without this ticker, I would be dead, and it didn't end up there willingly. It was
oh,
Oh,
forced upon me.
I'm sorry, man. That's fucked
yeah.
up.
If it's any consolation, I can tell you that the heart chakra, thankfully, is based in the spine, so I didn't lose that with the organ.
Okay.
You
But
know,
the worst thing about it is it actually makes me feel not only the same as before, which was pretty good, but for fuck's sake, man, I could run a marathon and probably still be fine.
See, that's what I was telling you, Jesse.
I mean, for him, I understand, but for you, I still think it's stupid how you want to cut off your arm so you could be more cybernetic or your foot. But for
I
him, he lost a
I
heart and he
just
was
want
forced.
to enhance myself because this vessel is so limited.
I still think it's
It's
wasteful.
not.
Okay, whoa.
You,
Go ahead and finish because I have something to say.
Meh.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of see where Clay is coming from on this, but, but, but,
but, what in the
think
butt?
that the level and degree to which we enhance ourselves, or you know, if we do it at all, that shit comes down to personal choice.
It
Because
always does.
real talk, what's the difference between a cybernetic arm and one that you grew using biological magic?
Cybernetic stronger.
Okay, that's you can using biological magic, you can make the arm just as strong. That's
Dahlia said
Yes,
that the more
I
machine
I
you
can
have,
do that.
the
yeah,
more
I I I
emotionless
I
you
I,
become.
I can make myself be jacked for a hot second
yeah,
and really beat the shit out of people, or if I really wanted to, but that would incur a lot of paradox. And he puts his hand up for everyone to see. I could turn each of these nails into hawk's claws. I could do all manner of crazy shit and
You can
probably
become
even
saber
make
tooth.
the.
Yeah, but you mentioned momentarily. My arm is super strong
Oh, with
permanently.
once I managed to break through the glass ceiling like 2 or 3 times, I would be able to make that permanent.
Do you turn green when you do that?
I could make myself turn green if I
You
wanted
can
to.
turn it
Oh,
to the
why
Hulk
would you
too.
do
Oh,
that?
Holy
what you are
shit!
talking about is the warp spasm of Celtic mythology. Yeah, I could, but it would have grievous consequences under the wrong circumstances.
Uh,
I mean, I would like to see the circumstances where it wouldn't have consequences, honestly, if you're big, huge ass in green running around, you know?
Are you hitting on me?
What?
Don't worry.
Oh
I'm
shit! Are
pretty
you?
sure she only wants to bang the demon.
Please don't.
Clea
Please,
will grab a
please.
donut and throw it in Jess's face.
Damien just laughs. I was
uh,
kidding. I was kidding.
uh,
I'm just
do
gonna
you-
note, no, Clay did not say no at any point.
But yes,
Well,
by
she's kind of
yeah,
in denial, kinda, but yeah.
but yes, Octavia.
Mm-hmm.
Since I want to ask this question without being rude towards the traditions, and he picks up a bronze axe whose head looks like this. Just let me transition like this. On the blade side, you are seeing a rune that looks very similar to the prime symbol. And on the back part, that weird disc and pyramid sort of thing that is poking out on its side is also another rune which looks very similar to the matter symbol. And he was sort of going, I've recently created this in the hopes that once I've cracked matter, at least the first level, and being able to use it, that I might be able to use this as a foci for any points on the blade for prime, and on the other side for matter. Have you ever heard if anybody has managed to do that?
Oh shit. Okay. I
I'm
haven't.
trying to be polite here.
I off the top of my head, like I don't know of anybody. I don't really know of anybody that's done something like that. But what I can do, I can hypothesize some things for you, so that way you can at least have something, have a lead, or you have something you can cross off.
That that would be just as helpful.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So I haven't learned too much about the matter sphere yet, right? Because I'm not really much of a chemist, I'm a
Mhm.
physicist.
Mind you, please keep in mind that I use a lot of symbology in my foci. That's why the axe blade for prime. That's why the quote unquote hammerhead for matter.
Well, I read Hamlet. Let's
There you
go.
go.
Alrighty. So I have an axe here. An axe cuts. It also breaks. All right. Now everything, regardless of what it is, whether it's us, whether it's a lightning bolt I throw, whether it's this weed,
Yeah,
whether it's a
I get
fucking
you.
spirit,
Yes.
it breaks down.
Anything that is solid, forces, non life, entropy, you name it,
It all boils down
to
when it comes
prime.
to prime. Exactly. Now, all you're doing, really, with this axe, this is what's going to be the hard part here. This is what I would do.
Hmm.
I would find a way to try to visualize this axe, not just breaking things down, but also building things up. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yes, I can tell you why. Because the axe is basically the first tool in humanity's history that allowed us to be more agricultural, more sedentary, build permanent structures, temples, and so on. It's also a builder up of civilization.
Exactly. Shit, did I just figure out the matters? Oh fuck.
What?
And also,
what?
please, the reason I work that way is because when I awoke, the guy who could have been my mentor and hermetic was dead. I had to work with what I had. I am no computer specialist. I didn't have great occult knowledge apart from the stuff that I know from history and
I can
prehistory.
help you with
So I
computers,
went to the
dude.
Sumerians, and then I started thinking, realizing, hey, I can. Back then, I called it warping reality, which to a certain extent it still is. But I realized that the sleepers must have the same potential, but are not awake. maybe I thought that I could tap into the story element, the symbolic element. That's how I started. Later on, I discovered that that wasn't not totally necessary, that it is more myself and my will that bends reality to a certain extent. But that there are still rules, there are mechanisms. How should I say? I envision the cosmos as one great machine. It's lopsided and it has got different problems on different areas. But even the things that they call gods, angels, and similar, those are just sub-programs, to use a computer metaphor, that control and try to keep the system going. And who knows, maybe even if we're tiny wheels, we are still connected to the greatest of the top, the thing so grand and beyond proper comprehension that I don't even know if calling it the Godhead would be the right term. It's like the all spirit. Maybe even spirit is the wrong term. I don't know. I lack the data.
It's the
I could
everything,
understand the
man.
machine you said, all the rest is just a bunch of gibberish to me.
A
One of
mechanistic cosmos, somebody once called it.
one of
Dude,
my
fuck,
teachers told me that the universe is just an etch a sketch, and we ourselves are the ones who twiddle the knobs of the etch a sketch.
I don't know, man. I always do. You know what I see if I ever leave my fucking sites, man? I see
Huh?
fucking webs, man. Fucking spider webs everywhere.
Yeah,
Why?
the
Where?
connections between everything, may it be the correspondence, may it be the entropy, so many different ways that things are connected with each other.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's crazy.
Is that like string theory or whatever?
Yes,
Yeah,
amongst other things.
string theory and chaos theory, man. That shit,
Yeah. Eh,
dude.
let's
Yeah.
just.
Finally,
By
you're
the way,
talking a language I
Octavia,
can understand.
there we go. Talking about chaos theory, Octavia.
Tell me,
Have you got any knowledge of the entropy sphere?
not yet. Dude. I've been wanting to learn that shit. I do a
If
whole
you
bunch.
want, I would be willing to teach you because that is the first one I awoke with. Being able to see the chaos and the order at the same time, everything being connected. Let's just say it was a bit of a mind fuck the first few days.
Oh, that's bitching. Yeah, deal, dude. You wanted to learn Prime, right? You asked me about that.
I already have 2 levels in Prime, and I think I could even break through to the 3rd level. But if you have got matter or forces,
I can
I'd
show you
definitely
matter.
be interested.
Forces, you say? I can show you forces.
Oh yeah.
Um,
How
yeah,
how how's the Spider-Man stun gun thingy going?
Yeah, we're still kind of working on it.
we're in the development phase.
Let me listen. Hey, if y'all need help with that, I have ideas for that shit. I've been thinking about making a fucking lightning bolt gun, man. Just see
We
if I could.
we've been using stun guns and like just amplifying it with magic is the idea to make the electricity um better
Oh,
and
dude,
like to hide from paradox
Good.
fly the lightning.
and like we're like the idea like turning into something from Spider-Man into like a wrist thingy that
Yeah,
shoots out the thingy.
yeah.
Would you want one? I can pay them more
I, I,
to make
I'm,
you
I'm
one.
tempted. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to challenge myself and just make that motherfucker myself.
That would be interesting. By the way, something quickly that I have to announce also for our guest here, just to avoid pissing off any other ultra traditional verbena. So it turned out, as we found out, that let's say my induction into the verbena hadn't been done with a ritual. So officially, I technically still count as an orphan.
Do you need to
What?
sacrifice
Yeah, that's what the
someone?
dude
No,
said.
no, but I had a talk with Dahlia about it, explained the situation as good as I could without blowing myself up,
Oh, you talked to her?
and yes, or well,
Why didn't you
uh,
tell
I
me?
well, put it that way. I gave her a telephone call
Oh, okay.
Why
and
did we have to tell you? You're not his mom.
Try to
um,
get that weed, man.
anyway, before I forget it,
Right.
she said that she would be willing to do the ritual and have me officially inducted into the verbena, so that and she said that the guy who was a bit threatening towards us, that she'd shut him right down because he's lower rank than her.
Okay,
Who
So
is
good.
this guy?
I don't know, man. He was
Tiago.
weird. He had bees coming out of him, and he said that
What?
if it was up to him, he would have him sacrifice a human for fuck's sake. Like, can you believe that shit?
What?
Yeah, Dahlia is not having that.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
Is
and
that even
frankly,
legal?
if that would have been asked of me, I would have willingly left, because when I, joined back in my time, it was made clear no human sacrificing.
Should we tell the red beard guy that was like slathering breast milk on
Oh,
everyone about it?
please don't mention that guy. He gives me the
Why? I
creeps.
think it's
Wait, someone
Well,
cool.
He reminds me very hard of someone.
Oh, well,
Who
I
was
think
oh,
it's
sparing
okay.
cool.
who was sparing titty milk on people? That shit. What? That's
It's
for
like
crazy.
you, Dahlia, by like rubbing breast milk on her shoulder. It was
Because
That's
it
really
is a
cool.
fluid, from a body, he was able to use the innate life sphere energy in it to help with the healing process.
he
Yes,
used the potential energy of the milk to transfer that to Dahlia to
correct. As a
accelerate.
medium.
Oh shit!
There's some very powerful TD milk.
Well, at
That
least it
shit.
wasn't jizz.
I mean,
I heard rumors about that, but I never saw it in person. So
I mean,
Maybe we can ask him about it.
maybe we can test it.
You see Jesse staring at Damien.
Octavius,
why is everyone looking at me like that?
See,
Don't you want to know
Want to know what?
if you know it works?
if
okay,
what
okay, because
It
think
works?
about it.
healed her. Of course it works.
If it's think, okay, but imagine how much more powerful that shit would be, right? Because here's the deal: if we're talking about the potential energy of just breast milk, imagine the possible energy that's generated from a whole bunch of possible children and people. Oh, wait a minute, that's fucked up. Never mind.
No, actually, I think it makes sense.
Um,
Do
All
you
I
want
think
to
the
Look,
only
try
the
it?
thing
thing
more.
is, there is more energy because the sperm cells are moving, so by moving, they produce more energy. Like, for real, you know?
No, not that, but
The
the
potential energy.
yeah, that's that shit.
Yeah, so it kind of
That's
makes
real
sense.
shit.
Ooh, maybe you can turn it into fuel.
Fucking
You, you
Damien
see,
just starts going red and redder, and just sort of looking at them, sort of like, are we really having this discussion?
you see Jesse looking at you in awe
I mean,
with
if
this
we're
jaw
looking for like
agape and like,
alternative options for like fueling shit, I mean, why not? I mean, people jerk off a lot.
Uh,
It's a waste not to use it
um,
for something, I guess, right?
maybe you can refuel Thea's bike.
You do not,
I
you
can't
do
believe that we're
not
having
catch my
this
bike in your mouth,
discussion.
Jesse, okay?
We're your hypothesis
What?
about potentials for magical experimentation. That's that's it.
Yeah,
Maybe we
Oh,
should ask
and keep it
Dahlia.
away from my bike.
She's a
Doesn't
high
that
rank. Maybe
listen?
she'd know about it.
By
It
the
doesn't.
way, you know what, Octavia, you first.
I was gonna say, listen, it doesn't even have to be either of your guys' jizz. All right, we can find other jizz in other places.
Well, this is Orlando, so you shouldn't be have a hard time.
Wait, does that mean poop also works? Can you turn poop into
Oh
fuel?
man,
They call it biodegradable, and yes,
oh,
methane. That is
Yeah, but
technology that is around currently.
can you turn your poop
right.
into fuel? Like just by just shoving it into gas tank
Not
with magic?
No, you
exactly.
have to have it go through a fermentation process and get the gases and then percolate it and many steps in between.
Yeah.
But you can get biofuel out of human waste. That is true.
So should we call Dahlia and see if she knows if, can work
We should
in magic?
absolutely call Dahlia.
For the love of the gods, don't. Just don't. Because I'm associated with you guys, and if you start pulling this weird at noob shit at her, it's going to reflect badly on me. I'm
Okay,
already on thin ice here.
Okay, so we're
okay,
not gonna
okay,
call Dahlia and ask her
right.
about poop.
Well, we're not
Thank
gonna
you.
do. All right.
Please don't call the Hierophant for
But she's
poop. That's
probably
highly
she's probably
insulting.
using poop for her plants anyway, cause poop is like a fertilizer or something, you know.
Yeah,
Ah, for the love of.
but we're not
Not
gonna
to
call her
mention,
and
not to
ask her.
mention that like her boyfriend pooped in the lake from the Lady Lake thing, like 700 years ago or
That's all.
something.
Lady of the
Yeah.
Lake. You guys
What?
know about the Lady of the
Well,
Lake.
yeah,
Wait, what?
cause
Wait,
the nice troll pooped in
Nicholas,
it, and she's still pissed about it.
Matthias,
Yeah,
Matthias,
Matthias, yes,
Matthias.
yes, he pooped in it.
He's a cool
Yeah,
troll.
he's
He
wait. Are you
really
like
talking
cool. I
about?
blue.
like him.
Oi, let the others get a word in.
Are you talking about the Lady of the Lake, like from King Arthur, or what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently she's
that's what he
real.
said.
Yo,
Uh,
do you have Excalibur?
Should should we ask
and
him?
Damien starts looking left and right as if he wanted to say something, but not.
Uh,
Yeah. The magic dude also is real. He's very rude. He's fucking bully. Anyway, I don't like him.
You mean
oh,
Merlin the
Yes,
Keeper?
he beat me
Dahlia's
up.
mentor
It
thingy.
that guy's the he the how for okay, I have to be
He's the
very careful here.
worst.
Do
No,
you
he's
think
not.
do you think he knows Matthias and that he pooped in the
Well,
lake?
yeah.
Why are you focused on that?
Well, of course he knows
I
him,
don't
but
know.
that's the whole thing. That she's still like kind of pissed about the
Uh,
pooping of the lake, and but it's so funny
anyway,
though.
to okay, but yes, let's just say I have met her and Merlin before I met any of you guys. That's all I can say.
Oh,
What? I got it.
so is Marilyn still a bully in the future?
Not that
Does
I'm aware of.
is Merlin all powerful like Gandalf?
What do you expect from somebody who ascended and came back to
Oh,
tell the
wait, wait,
tale?
wait, 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 wait,
What?
wait. I know you like from the future, even though he's in the past, but knows you're in the future, but like
It
he's in the
is
past.
it is at the very least a possibility, but I don't know how wise it would be for me to approach him currently.
Listen, his past is Merlin's future, and if he fucks with that, bad things.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to stay away from the fellow as much as I would love to go and give him a hug.
Yeah, like fucking many worlds interpretation is a bitch, man. Temporal fields are a bitch.
I am lucky that in the Avatar storm I wasn't ripped to shreds, although my armor was fucked up beyond belief, and I even lost my connection to the spirits.
Damn.
That's bad.
I used to have I used to have at least one level in in the sphere of spirit. Luckily, I'm still able to occasionally communicate with my avatar, so I'm so glad Fulgia is fine. She seemed to have survived it more or less unscathed, but oh, that was terrible.
Dude,
Talking.
dude, yo, I've got a question. I just
I
thought of it right now.
ask, I can't guarantee that I can answer.
What if you died during the storm?
Oh
Hold on,
What
hold
are you
on.
shit!
talking about? How could
Let
he
me
have died
explain.
if he's
Let me
here?
explain.
Quiet, I want to hear this.
All right, so we already know that the entire universe is an infinite universe of infinite possibilities, right?
Yeah?
Yes. Multiple unit yes, yes.
Now, what if that avatar storm fucked with timelines and the you that went in that avatar storm died and the you that we're talking to right now is just another possibility of you that just kind of replaced the dead you to preserve something of a time stream.
Let's just say after I arrived, I had a dealing with an entity. A deal was struck so that I wouldn't cause, like ridiculous amounts uh, of paradox to cause just all kinds of trouble.
Oh,
And then the deal was dissolved because some of the Verbena looked into my mind and cracked the barrier. Now I know everything, but I have to be bloody careful with what I say. But then again, I have to be careful. I have to be very careful because I'm mostly working off hypotheses here. And
Is
whether I am what you say I am, or whether I am Damian Wolf from the future,
well,
I like living, and I have to be careful. And he starts hyperventilating. That
okay, okay. My bad. Dude, my bad. I
he
this
looks
is
apologize.
bad. He starts curling up into the fetal
No, no,
position.
no, no,
Oh
no,
this
shit.
dude,
is
dude,
I
dude, dude, dude,
apologize.
no. You're not dead.
You're good.
this is like Star Trek, like when they teleport and stuff.
All right,
What if
listen. None of what I said alters the simple, basic fact that you're Damian Wolf. Okay? Because you know what? There's infinite Damian Wolves.
Ah,
You are an infinite identity that transcends space and time in more ways than one. Even if one
wait?
of you ends, another one of you will continue. Okay,
What
that's how
if
that shit works.
he's on the floor. He's stopped hyperventilating, but he's still on the floor in a fetal position.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
anyone trying to
Cleo will
comfort
go and
him?
give him a hug, and
Yeah,
and like, no,
yeah.
dude,
this is
no,
like rubbing your foot,
it's fine.
like
No,
your
no,
leg?
no, come on. You broke him.
Oh
What if
no.
He okay, no, after a bit, as you hug him, it reassures him, and he gets up and he just says, "One moment," and you just see how he literally punches himself across the face
Oh no, no,
and
don't
goes,
do that.
"Ah,
What?
Okay,
no, it's good,
I'm
it's
so
good."
sorry.
He puts up a finger. It's good. Pain is my friend. Pain tells me that I'm still alive. I'm not
I
in a
can
this
tell
dream.
is
you that you're
This is
still
my
real.
alive. If you weren't
this
real,
is
we
like
weren't being real.
Fight
Wait,
Club?
And he
are we
sits down
real?
and he just focuses
What
himself.
if we're just a
Hold on.
dream since Cthulhu is real
Let
technically? What
The
if we're
Did
just
you just
outsiders
create
are
Cthulhu
real.
again, dude? Why are you doing that
oh,
shit?
damn it. Let's okay. Change the subject. So poop magic.
So
proof
yeah,
magic?
to okay. So anyway, well, thank you, Octavia. I did hear you. I did hear you. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I could very well be just this reality's iteration, who, for
Wait,
whatever reason, has the memories.
if there's a
I have
limit with
all the
you,
memories.
Oh shit.
does that mean there's a universe where it's only you and like all the citizens are you and everyone is just
No,
No,
you.
but
no, that I
but
can
there
say with a
exists
good
a
conscience.
universe where
No.
you are smart, Desi.
Damn,
Wow.
nigga,
And
what?
there exists a universe where I am of the Hermetic Order and not a Verbena, because in that iteration, my mentor didn't die.
There's probably a version of me that's a virtual adept.
I could see that
There's
somehow,
probably a version of
but
me
Yeah,
that's
that's
What if
why.
boring.
what if there's a version of me that knows kung fu and is part of the Akashic
You can
Order?
still learn kung fu
Wow.
if you want to do. There's like a dojo
If you want
like
to,
two
if
blocks
you want,
away,
yeah,
and the doctor dude told you to go and sign up and shit, but no, you don't wanna. You just wanna eat cookies and devour donuts all day.
Because I've been thinking, okay, what if that dude like
Fuck that dude,
had
man.
a
He's not on
soul?
you.
What about the wraiths? What if they're like people and I like murder their souls? I'd burn
You
that.
can't murder the
this is why you
souls,
don't go
man.
cool for shit. Don't do that.
I like set him on fire.
Wait, dude, who'd you set on fire?
The
if it's a,
wraith thing.
then you just destroyed the very little corporealness that it had on this side, but on the other side of the gauntlet, it will still be there. To
Oh,
destroy a soul, you have to do way worse than that. And he gives
oh,
you a knowing look.
that's good, I guess. So I didn't kill that
You're
pink
not
hook lady.
exactly. You didn't. If anything, it was just a bit of ectoplasm that you burnt away. That can actually, that could even reform at some point, because no energy is lost, just transferred.
What if she finds me? Oh
With an
no.
etiquette,
Where would they find you, dude? Like, for real.
I don't know, revenge?
dude, we're mages, alright? Shit happens. Alright?
And secondly, there are wards for stuff
If
like
they
that.
find you, we'll just kill them.
Heck, I can turn, and he points at the axe he showed before. I know how, with a very little bit of prime, I can turn this semi-incorporeal and hurt ghosts. I can hack wraiths where it hurts them. I can teach you that if you want. I won't have
Is it
my homies
possible?
be unable to defend themselves. Heck, I'll even create a sort of weapon that you can use as a focus if you want. I've got the skills. I
What
just
if you
need to
do
know
that
a
to
bit
the
more about your paradigm.
what if it's like the stun gun thing and it can like hurt ghosts? It's like Ghostbusters.
How?
Oh,
Ugh, you're doing that again.
But yes, theoretically, yes.
I can be like Ray and Egon and like
You know what?
be ghost busting.
If you have to use that reference, fine, fine. If it helps you understand what we're saying, language at the end of the day is nothing else than a code that we created so that we can transfer an idea from my head into your head and vice versa.
Ah, I wish it was that simple.
Um, I the runes I use, I'm just tapping into the symbology, into the energy itself. At the end of the day, I'm just hacking reality like the rest of you guys.
Uh,
Don't forget, you've got, with your soul and your avatar, well, with your soul, you're a tiny drop of the infinite
I don't
in a
even know
small
what my
vessel.
avatar is.
You don't know what your
I
avatar
have it.
is?
I don't know. I think it's fire.
Uh,
To be fair, if you can find a dream speaker, for example, they have got the rituals to allow your avatar to manifest for a short time, and then you could interact with them as if they were a person in front of you. Let's just say I'm speaking of prior experience.
Someone told me once that my avatar had saved me, and that's why I became fire.
Could well be. I. Oh, well, let's just say in my awakening, I don't know if she saved me, I saved her. It's complicated,
Wait,
but at least
avatars
I
have
see her in my dreams.
genders?
Well, as far as I know, avatars tend to be the opposite sex of the mage that they are assigned to.
Uh,
Mine is
I don't think
female.
my
I am
avatar
male.
has a sex.
I have seen female mages have male avatars.
Why don't you ask your avatar if it has a dick or not?
Because it doesn't really have an actual body.
Is it
But
like air
No.
or like an
It's
element?
it's like a brain that's connected with like many wires, and it can
It's so
and it can
cyberpunk.
create like a body, but it's not an actual body. It's like a reflection of myself, only like digitized or something. Yeah, that's
That
the
is so
easiest way to
cyberpunk.
explain it.
So cyberpunk.
Yeah, you said that 4 times already.
Wow.
Oh, well, I'm
2020.
sorry, my avatar is cooler than yours. Uh,
I don't even know if my avatar's cooler than yours or not. I've
well, if
never
it's
seen it.
fire, it's by definition not cool.
Hopefully
Yes,
it
it's
doesn't
very
turn out to
hot.
be Surta, because that would be bad.
Hey man, that's fucked up. You are your avatar to a certain extent, man. Like that shit. That's like you. That's like the pinnacle of you. That's you without the vessel and without circumstance and without all the bullshit. Okay,
Yeah,
What?
strip away
the ego.
everything. Yeah,
Strip strip away the vessel that is
So you're
this
saying that I'm a
so
yeah.
wired
very frail
brain
body.
and Damien is a chick?
That's Don't forget, avatars manifest in ways to make themselves more understood by their mages. Mine, uh,
Wait, does that
mine,
mean
for
Claire?
example, is a 12,000-year-old shamaness who I found out is
What?
very distantly related to me.
So your avatar is your great
Something in
grandmother?
that, well, it would seem so, yes. But the thing is, she also has taken the form of a cave bear. I remember seeing her in that form when when the circumstances of my awakening were causing me great distress, and I was in need of somebody to protect me. She came in that form. After that, I've only seen her in a human form. But
So
even then, she sometimes shifts in and out of the shadows. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point she might shift form again as my worldview changes.
so what if your avatar specifically? So if your avatar is related to you, what if? Let's strip away all the bullshit. You, Damien Wolf, are the manifestation of your entire genetic lineage spanning from the beginning of time, dude.
Well,
Whoa.
technically, that's true, like genetically.
Genetically,
Well,
about spiritually, man.
the yeah, uh, she, once I felt her presence, is as if I was in the presence of someone I'd known, like my mother. I've known all my life.
So, all right, let's take what you
By
let's
the
look.
way, by the way, I've got a piece of info.
Oh
One of
shit!
the old Greek philosophers stipulated that the avatar, they called it different back then, but latched itself on at the very latest point a few days before the birth. Some even think that the afterbirth is the place, like the physical residence of the avatar, before it then went into the child shortly before it was born into the world, and would then rest in a sleeping form until the sleeper himself
Okay, that
awakes,
sounds
and that's
gross.
when they awake. Well, it
That
might also
Avatar's a
just have been
parasite?
metaphorical, but I've read in a lot of text that they associate the avatar shortly before birth. It comes to reside into the child that then is born.
So Avatar is a parasite? We we get magic because of a ghost
If
parasite?
anything, it would be a symbiote. And don't forget, the avatar links you to the highest of the highest levels. Basically, some would say it links you up with Prime itself, the existence before it breaks itself into different phases and goes through the wheel
Do
to
you think
finally end up in entropy and go back to being Prime.
do you think it's
Nothing is ever
possible
lost. It just goes
to
in circles.
do you think it's possible to awaken someone?
It is.
oh,
I let's just say I've been looking into that, or I was looking into that before I ended up here.
Do you think I can awaken my sister? That would
You
be cool.
could.
Wait,
There
what?
are.
What if the
There is a
reason you
road.
got sucked in from the storm was because you were looking into things you weren't supposed to? What if this shit's dangerous?
Well, I
Hey,
haven't been
Merlin.
looking into it any further because I'll have to wait. I thought that I would have to wait at least 20 years before I could start
Why?
moving again.
But why?
However, I was looking into that, but I can't remember that being the reason I was sucked in the first place, and I can't go into details about that, or at least potentially not.
Will you tell
That's
us
my problem. So
in
many
20
things I
years?
could say, but so much danger involved with it.
Will you tell us everything in 20 years?
In 20 years, I'd be more than happy to give you the whole story because, boy, have I got some tales for you guys.
oh shit.
It's a long time to wait.
Do
I
you
think
think
I'm gonna go and cry. Oh,
do you think we'll still be alive in 20 years?
You know what? If I have anything to say about it, in 20 years, I might have been able to teach you enough life that you'll still look the same.
Whoa.
I have recently reached enough, the sphere of life enough that I could enact a certain road that would instantaneously stop me from aging. And I could be, as I look now, for technically several hundred years. But I'm hesitant at the moment to enact that one.
Do you
Let
think Moses was a mage? Because he could live up to like 700 or some shit. At least that's what the Bible says.
that's
I
Like, would
wouldn't be
mythology, isn't it?
surprised.
Wait, who now?
Moses?
Methuselah, and he
Uh,
lived to 700 years. It is possible. I mean, if what the traditions tell us is true, at some point in history, uh, it was far easier to cast magic than it is these days.
What if there's like a barrier doing that? Like a barrier in this magic sky or something, like stopping magic from getting into our bodies. Like it's getting thicker or something.
What?
Well, what do you think? Have you ever heard of the Ascension War?
No,
wait, what? They didn't tell you about the Ascension? Oh,
no.
hell nah.
They
They,
haven't given you the basics. This is a travesty. This can't stand.
Jesse, we gotta help you.
Professor Perkins doesn't tell me shit.
You know
All
what?
right.
I hate mentors who don't teach or even give them the
Well,
basics.
he teaches him how
Ugh.
to throw fireballs.
But yeah, he has to know the history. I mean, a tree without roots cannot stand. If you don't know where you came from and in what tradition and how things have gone, how the hell are you supposed to know how to move forward in the present.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Wing it.
I'm winging it too.
Winging it will only get you so far. Through winging it, I lost my heart.
I think that would just persuade Clea to do the winging it more because
Oh,
she
if
wants.
she knew how exactly it happened and all the pain I had to go through,
I think she
she
would just.
wouldn't. She
Cause,
wouldn't.
oh,
No, I
okay.
prefer to do it, in a more controlled way. You know.
But yeah. But anyway, in that sense, thank you, Octavia. I had not thought about that possibility. Definitely something worth thinking about. May I ask you a different question? And if it is offensive, it wasn't meant to be offensive, but I'm still learning the protocols.
Go for it.
Is it possible for a mage to join two traditions?
It doesn't happen a lot, but that shit can happen.
Uh, yeah, I've seen it.
Mr.
Yeah, number
Iroh.
two. Yeah, the Iro dude. He's in two, and my
Yeah,
babysitter too.
yeah. Like it's rare. Like definitely rare. Like I'm not gonna fuck with you on that. But I've heard of it happening.
Wait, can I still join the Akashic Order?
Uh,
Will they teach me
I
Kung
don't
Fu?
think so.
Well, okay, well,
How
like the main thing is you have to find a way to work their shit out and make it work for you. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how to explain it. I can't even that Akashic stuff. I've never met an Akashic, so I don't even. I can only speculate on that.
they are
Oh,
masters of the mind and they use normally Eastern mysticism.
Mr. Iroh just hits Clea a lot with a stick. I think I can do that. I'll just need a stick and I'll just hit Clea in the head.
That was because she was poking me with a stick before, which, by the way, was pretty rude. But you know what? And he sort of grabs Clea and gets her closer and gives her a noogie. I forgive her.
But well, yeah. How was I supposed to know if you were like
If I wasn't a ghost or
well, I
something
don't
like
know.
that, yes.
I've seen things, man. Like weird shit keeps happening
We
around me for some reason that I don't know why. Uh,
yeah,
A vampire called her a cunt
yeah, like you keep reminding me.
because it's
but
It's not
funny.
yes.
funny. No, it's not funny.
But yes, sorry that I have to rip the conversation back to me. I'll release it in a sec, I promise.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What?
Octavia, you're probably wondering, why is this Verbena asking it?
Because you've been hypothesizing with the hermetic with some obviously hermetic magical styles for the past 2 hours while we've been smoking weed in the garage.
The thing is, it's not even necessarily that I want to take information from anyone and just willy-nilly spread it out. It's not that at all. But I've put it that way. Yes, joining the Verbena was very much a survival thing back there. Plus, the Hermetics, let's just say they weren't quite as chill as you guys. And there were reasons. It's not that I went and actively pissed them off or anything, but let's just say the chance never arose. And by the time that it was necessary, the Verbena offered. So I said yes, because it would increase my survival chances. And for whatever reason, my paradigm sort of fits in there and yet not. But the more I see the way I taught myself things, how I figured out things, and every time I see the Hermetics do their stuff, it's like I'm recognizing shit. I'm I'm seeing things. How should I say? I don't use blood. I don't use sperm or mother's milk for that stuff. I also work in systems which I've got the feeling have a lot in common with your stuff, and I've got this nagging feeling that if I were only able to get a better grip of the mechanics you guys use, I could probably properly start using my shit. It's as if I've got a big Gordian knot, and the verbena stuff is just not cutting it.
I can see that. I can dig that shit, man.
I'll be quite honest. I'm just very frustrated about the situation. That's why I asked if there's any way I could ingratiate myself, or I'm willing to go through some trials by fire to prove that I'm not here to spy on you guys. I'm just trying to reach my potential.
I I, I think at least me. Okay, I can't speak for Jesse, but I'll at least throw it out there because it happens. And I see where you're coming from because when I started explaining my shit, like my shit's weird. My shit's probably weird to Jesse. My shit's probably weird. My shit was weird to a whole lot of hermetics. Like the way
My
I see it, it's just a web, right? Like that's all it is. Everything's a web. It's all just all together, and you fuck with one thing, you end up fucking with another thing, and that's how that works. Everyone sees it like that. So I see where you're coming from. You gotta kind of figure shit out on your own. That shit can get frustrating sometimes, man.
You say
my
it.
my mentor just told me to make things move through my will. I just will them to move by
Yeah,
speaking them.
Well, yes, will is important to all of it. That is true, and I'm not trying to demean you here, Jesse. So sorry if yeah.
Professor
Well, yeah.
Perkins taught me to just speak Latin, to just speak it and
Jesse,
to will it to happen.
Jesse, do you want some magic lessons later, or you got this?
I think I got it. I did learn how to like see probability once. It was pretty cool. I could
I
like
mean,
see
Jesse, you
where
should get all the help you can get at this point. I mean, it's not anything bad. Just remember what she said to be like a black hole, you know? Just absorb
yeah.
everything.
Okay. I would like a lesson. Maybe I can also ask Mina to teach me some stuff. She
Yeah,
Mm,
she seems to know how to use magic too.
yeah,
yeah,
because
just make sure she doesn't start a stick up your ass like she has.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry. We'll knock him down a peg if he gets too uppity. And I would expect the same thing that you guys would do to me if I ever started losing it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I only did awaken recently.
How
yeah,
many months, if I may ask?
Uh, 4 months ago, five
Oh,
months.
oh, wow! Finally, someone who is actually even greener than I am. 1.5
Yeah, he's a
years here,
baby.
at least in my head.
But to be honest, I don't really know how long it's been.
Well, yeah, the amnesia really has
Yeah.
been doing a number on your brain.
Yeah.
Mind you, we definitely should find out what went wrong the last time they tried to heal you. Who knows, maybe we might be able to find
Well,
out,
here's the
where the
thing.
knot is
Like,
and loosen
I
it.
apparently got a flashback that wasn't really a flashback, or I don't know. I'm taking a break from my brain at the moment, cause
Yeah.
yeah,
What if you're like the dead guy? You're like the Terminator.
dude, look,
Stop
I know
scaring
I
her.
already have these weird thoughts in my head, but you're not helping. Like, I'm already
I, I,
paranoid enough,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't
I'm,
know. It's possible, I suppose,
I'm
but I don't
sorry.
know.
It's
I,
just
I don't
I love
it,
you,
it,
Jesse.
I don't think I have a
it would
USB in
make
my head,
sense.
but yeah, like this dude had.
Yeah.
You could be like Android 18, except Android 18 isn't actually an
Dude,
Android, she's a cyborg.
this is not what Android is. I'm a cyborg, not an
I know, but
android.
that That's what they call cyborgs in Dragon Ball. It's really
because
stupid,
they
but
are.
No.
Yeah, because they don't know the
An
difference.
android is pretty much a machine that resembles a
I
man.
know. But that's what they call the cyborg in Dragon Ball Z.
Well, they're
Yeah,
wrong.
okay,
You
okay,
can't you
let's.
can't base your like worldview on a fucking cartoon, okay?
That's what your name is too. So what am I going to call her?
What?
That's hot blonde chick? I don't know.
Who?
Yeah, the Android 18. That's what she's called. She doesn't have a name except Android 18. It's
Yeah,
weird.
how about we just give it a rest? To answer your question, Jesse, yes. And to answer Clear's thing, he means cyborg. Long story.
Yeah.
But yeah, Octavia, I won't lie. All the time I was an orphan, it was extremely frustrating. The worms I had to pull out of people's noses, metaphorically speaking. The
That's weird.
Worms?
the thing. Some people. Okay, it's a German expression that means pulling out information. And it's being a.
Oh.
I imagined it
Pulling
was
out
like
information.
like pulling teeth.
Oh yeah, some people are secretive.
I
Of
don't get
course,
why pulling out
but
Like,
stuff is
funnily
weird.
enough,
yeah, that Mina chick, she's pretty secretive and dangerous. I don't trust her. But I can tell
yeah.
you how to
But
do
talk.
my
You think
stuff. Like I can tell you, like if you asked me how I use my, figurative wand, I could tell you, kinda.
Focus. The terminology for that
Well,
is
yeah,
focus.
cause
If you're not being
yeah,
too
'cause that makes
specific.
sense to me. The one doesn't make sense to me, but like I made this attachment for my hand, for my arm, like
Yeah,
and it makes an air shield, and if people are shooting at me, it kind of like divert the bullets like outwards so they won't shoot me.
yeah.
I did that.
But yeah, but yes. Unless it is dedicated verbena stuff, I'm more than happy to teach you guys. And in my eyes, just the general functions of the life sphere are not the sole are not the sole premise of the verbena, because being able to heal yourself and others, that saves lives. And that sort of information, in my eyes, will be available
Well,
to
yeah,
everyone.
it's kind of one of my future priorities, I suppose. After I, you know, uh, get some more of my shit
But
together,
yes.
I suppose.
But yeah, Jesse, more than happy to show you a few things, and we definitely all three of us definitely have to see that we know our traditions, that we know the rules, that we also know, you know, what sort of behavior is allowed in this society. Because let's just say where I was, things were so chaotic that that things were told to me that probably here in Orlando nobody would have told me.
Well, those things that Mina
But
said,
then
the
again,
protocols,
nobody told me the
like these
rules.
protocol
Really, it
things.
was very ad
Yeah,
hoc.
I never heard
the
of those before.
professor.
Like nobody really,
I didn't know. For example, I didn't know that it was rude to ask somebody, "Oh, hey, interesting focus you have there," and because we would talk about how we built our foci all the time, it was no big
Yeah, I don't
deal.
get it.
The prof-
But
the
apparently, I
professor.
really upset the guy.
The only thing the professor has ever taught me is how to empower words and to make it will things into existence and how to control fire.
Ah, so
Yeah, that
you
was it.
empower words, I empower symbols.
Yes, I can just say something like "ventum murmur" and like a magic wall will appear, like what Leo was talking about. Except
Word
I
magic. Oh, that's some pretty dope ass shit right there.
that's the only thing I've been taught to me is how to
That you
force
can,
words
yeah, that
into
you,
existence.
mm, and you can use words as basically a foci. That's something worth looking into,
Oh hell yeah, do that shit.
because I want to progress from. At some point, I definitely want to progress from being the hand magician to being the word magician.
I don't you find it a bit distracting though, having to say words? I mean, people will think you're weird if you're just blurbing, random like shit, and things happen and whatnot. Like, uh,
I don't always have to do it. Like for example, this he pulls out his lighter and he turn it on and he starts jiggling the
dude,
fire. I
dude,
guess I can
dude,
get fired. That's what
do
I don't
not
care.
put fire in here, okay? My bike is in here. We
We
have,
need we need the oxygen to breathe.
Oh,
and we need
right,
my
sorry.
bike.
Don't forget, we're high as skunks.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Uh, but yeah, I don't have to whisper words to make that happen. I can just turn on this lighter. I can make it move to my will.
Okay.
Mm, good. But yeah, by the way, Octavia, if I would want. Okay, so first I would have to find a way to figure it out. Weirdly enough, Dr. Samuel, I think his name was.
Samuel Perkins, my
Yes,
mentor.
your
Yeah,
mentor,
Doctor Dude.
exactly. She said that he was at least willing to have me a look at some of the books for a very rough out sketch of the Hermetics, like the really baby stuff. Is he actually allowed to do that? I just want to check, not that I get him into trouble.
Oh fuck! Wait, allowed to do what now?
He
Um,
should be fine. I mean, he went into the Hermetic Library.
yes, I did. And that reminds me. That reminds me. That was the reason why I was basically camping there for the night.
Oh, that's why you're
I
not
I
sleeping, dude.
yeah, exactly. Um, that reminds me. And he gives Clea and Jesse an envelope and
What's
says,
that?
"Don't open this envelope until I have either returned from Dahlia or I have, not been seen in like the last 24 hours. This is a backup I'm basically doing, and I'm leaving it in your
You're
safekeeping.
scaring me.
What?
Um,
You going to die?
I've been able to find information out about the silver sarcophagus. I've got a pretty good idea who's in
Oh,
there, but I want to be careful about to whom I
okay.
give the info.
But dude,
And
Is
you're
it a
looks
you're
to
not
vampire?
Octavia.
allowed to
This is
disappear. Like no.
this is really nothing personal. I didn't even know that you were coming until the telephone call happened. If not, I would have made one for you as well.
Is it a vampire or like a werewolf?
Dude, he said that he
No,
can't say, and I'm fucking
I can't
curious.
say
Like,
yes. I can't say
okay,
no.
do we have like a safe in this
Damn it.
house?
There's Dr. Perkins' weed thingy where he keeps the weed,
Okay,
I think.
no, I need like a place where I know I won't open it, cause I'm curious as fuck. Uh,
We can put it in the garden. He winks at Clea. Wink, 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 wink.
And winks back.
in the garden,
Yes, where there's like roses.
and
Anyway, just keep it safe until I've had a chance to have a chat with Dahlia about
okay.
it. After that, you can open it up and you'll be privy to the information. This is just me, James Bonding my shit around here.
Can't I give this to Octavia and just like share the one with Clea?
Um, I would say either if
Yes,
in
yes,
once I've
yes.
gone in the next 12 hours I don't show up,
Yes,
yes.
do that.
And then you can
Uh,
share it with
No.
anyone
You should give the one to
you
Octavia,
trust.
and then you should get one and hide it because I can't trust myself not opening it. I'm
here
seriously
Okay.
you
like,
go.
yeah.
He takes it back from you.
I'm a
Yeah,
curious person, okay? I can't help that.
In that case, Octavia, in your case, I would say in the next 24 hours. If I disappear, open it up. In the meantime, I will trust you not to open it.
She'll she'll attempt to sober up, get some composure, and say, "I'll trust you if it's this big of a deal. Then 24 hours."
24 hours. Mind you, if I'm back, then I could even tell it to you in person, or feel free to open it up.
Like 24 hours starting from now?
Yes.
Okay.
And he looks at the watch and makes a mental note of it. I'm just doing some precautions because previous experiences have taught me certain lessons.
Fair enough.
The rest is quad bike.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
I'll keep it on me for the day then. I have a big purse that just can fit in, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any certain taboos that hermetics are not supposed to do?
Deal with demons?
Well,
Yeah.
I would think that it is common sense not to deal with demons, certain type of fey folk, and definitely not devils.
Okay.
For the love of
Okay,
the gods,
we
not
have
devils.
to
Our
specify what
friend,
you mean by dealing, though, because my friend is dealing at the
Making a deal, making
casino.
a contract.
Oh.
oh, so just don't get married to him and you'll be fine.
Okay, that falls under a hell of a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And you see Clea face desking somewhere. Pretty much. Why?
Jesse. And he sort of moved towards you and sort of puts his hands on your shoulders. Jesse, my boy, I love you, but you have no filter.
I think it's the smoke
No,
doing that.
no. You're not gonna make
No, that's me,
excuses,
dude.
dude. Like
That's on you.
seriously, you own it up.
You
You
don't
own
have
it
a
up.
filter.
You keep
Period.
doing this shit. Why are you
Uh,
doing this shit? I don't want like my private shit like out there for everyone. Like, no offense, Octavia or anything, but he keeps doing that shit. Why?
And Jesse, for the love of the gods, don't tell everyone that I'm a time traveler. Time traveler. It makes it so much more complicated.
But it's so cool.
And he just hugs him. I know, dude. I know, but you know, we have to at least try and be smart about this
Yeah,
shit.
Yes, we will.
and we can't be
Oh my.
saying about the vampires to everyone. Like, I know, but I know I'm at fault at this too. But
No more talking about vampires. I've had my fill.
So I can't tell anyone that someone called you a cunt anymore.
why are you keep
Stop
returning to
talking
that?
about trying to save people's souls and shit, man. Stop phrasing it hella bad, because it sounds hella bad. That's
But
why.
it's really bad.
What?
I sold that guy's soul. Oh god.
Hey, and he starts shaking you. We established that you didn't do that. Now pull yourself together, man. And he slaps him. Pull, dude,
Dude.
look at me, look at me, look at me.
What?
You didn't do anything wrong. That guy didn't have a soul. So you weren't
Yeah.
able to accidentally sell it or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
So now you're just going to cut this
that guy
out.
wasn't even a guy.
And you're going to put your big boy pants on.
Okay.
You know what? Deep in there is a badass. And you just have to believe in him
Well, you have to
and
dig a lot.
just
but
pull
yeah.
yourself together. And by the way, I cannot perfectly understand why you're afraid about stuff. New situations are weird, are scary, but it is by facing the fear and still moving on, although we are afraid, that we become brave, and that we then can see with eyes unclouded.
A few weeks ago, I didn't even know vampires or trolls or like werewolves existed.
And
This
we
is some
can
weird
deal
shit.
with that. Yes, but you know what? We can do some pretty sick ass shit ourselves. We can, I mean, I can do stuff that even some of those blood sorcerers and he sort of gives Octavia a knowing nod, but I will not say their name. I'm sure we can do some way more crazy shit than they can because they are bound to do blood sorcery. They only have one medium they can do it through. We, on the other hand, use will. We are will workers. We can fucking, how should I say? They still have to work within the frame. They are still very much bound by all the rules of their sorcery. We possess magic. We bend reality to our will. That is way more potent.
Okay.
So keep calm. I'll see that I teach you some defensive and offensive rotes, so that if you ever placed in a situation where you have to defend yourself, you'll actually be able to do that. And
I
we're also
just
going to see
Yeah,
that we get
instead of patching
your
me up.
taser thingies
I I just hope that I don't
organized,
kill anyone again.
and
Oh,
it's
dude, you
okay.
will definitely kill someone at some point. You just have to make peace with the
What?
fact, cause yeah, like you
Shush.
know,
And
We're
and,
not.
and he just shushes Clear.
it doesn't have to be a
Not
person.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Like shit's happening, man. It's a possibility.
Do you know how bad they smell when they burn? It's really awful. The burnt flesh, the burnt leather, the burnt. Uh,
That's why we're going to see that you get the teaching you need, that you get the background info you need, that you can also start practicing to channel your energy the way you need to, so that it doesn't become an explosion but is a controlled flame. We're going to get through this. I've seen others who were in worse shape and they managed to get their shit together. I believe in you, man. And he releases you.
okay. He's just gonna get a donut and start chewing and like looking at everyone frantically, like with his eyeball
And
just
for crying
moving.
out loud, I've been through a few battles. I have seen shit that currently would trump the shit we have seen, and I've managed to get through it. And I had far less information about it, but we managed to power through it. And by the way, thank you for the compliment. You're the first person, probably my whole life, who ever called me cool.
But
But
but you are
but
cool, man. I mean, you're a homie.
thank you.
You're as close as we'll get to a Terminator, cause you're like a time traveling robot, dude. Even though it's only your heart, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
And you're like
but
German, and that's pretty close to Austria,
t-
so you're
t-
like
tech
pretty close.
yeah, technically I'm half Swabian and half Scottish, yes.
That's pretty close to like Austria, where Arnold is from. So you're
Well,
like
let's
pretty
just
close.
say my mentor was from Austria.
Arnold was your mentor.
If
Oh,
and he looks at you at how the hell did you know his first name?
oh,
What? No, he's from the Terminator. I've seen that one.
Okay. Misunderstanding. I can't say more. Quad bike. Sorry, mate.
Okay.
But,
I think
well, you have guessed it. Arnold was his first name. Yes. But
I think
Schwarzenegger was not his family name.
Okay.
uh, I think I'm going to sleep now. Jesse's just gonna curl up on the floor and go to sleep.
It's fine. Yeah,
Clea, we're
Damien
gonna.
will probably put a
No,
cover
Clea will
over
just
him.
pick him up and place him on the bed and cover him because he's a baby
God
brother.
damn.
But yeah, but yeah. This has been quite the eventful session. No wonders the Scythians smoked it in a hot box. This stuff really
Yeah,
activates the
man, we
mind.
should do that again. That's.
Oh, just a sec. and he goes to the thing. He makes some rune sign over the fire and just gives a thanks in Old Norse to Gaia. That part about Gaia, you guys hear. Blah, 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 Gaia, blah, blah, blah. I just thanked the Wild Mother for
Well,
her
thank her
gifts,
from me too,
just in
because
case she
that
was
was a
listening.
good gift.
Mm. Well, in we know from the society that came after the Indus Valley in the old Vedas that they called cannabis the plant that was given to the humans by the gods so that they might know nirvana for a short time.
Yeah, I think I'm there.
Yeah, and Octavia, you're
Mm,
awesome.
thank you, you too, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you're
I'll
cool.
I'll but yeah, let's just say I won't, or I'm a how do you call it? Hartnäckig. And he starts thinking, ah, yeah, I'm a tenacious bastard. I can be very determined, and yeah, I'll see if I can't get if I can't might be able to make an arrangement. I definitely would like to join you guys. There I feel it. This could definitely help me on my path, and also to give me some balance.
Awesome.
I've
Fuck
been
yeah.
off kilter for too long. I need some balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out to equation.
Well, Clea Sky
Yeah,
is a cat, so she will take a couple of donuts and she was gonna go and lay down on her bike, eating the donuts and still doing mumbling calculations from what's written on the walls.
yeah, but yeah. Um, are there any people who it might be a bad idea to approach with what I would like to do?
The thing for me is I'm new to the city too. So
Ah,
I don't know too many people like that.
I see. Fair enough. I'll find out one way or the other. And I have to say, your library is pretty bitch ass.
It's bitching. So
Yeah,
good.
yeah. The only thing I miss is the library back in. Now, well, that was a whole different caliber, but then again, damn it. Oh well. You know what? In 20 years, in 20 years,
1 years.
and you know what? In 20 years, I might even grab you all and have you go to Dublin and see some of the sites. Some of the sites are pretty out of this world. And he just smiles.
Oh, that was literal. Love it.
So yeah, but you know what? For for a little while, I'll just sit here and enjoy the lovely company. And I already see we've got two lying down. We two are still standing. Haha,
Hey, I'm still
nice.
awake. I'm just doing the calculations.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But I'd be damned if at some point we can't figure out a way to help your brain.
But my brain, technically, my brain's fine. It's just, you know.
Okay, or whatever the hell is messing with between your brain and your mouth.
Oh, dude. Well, it's like,
uh,
if it's like a deck of cards that you just shuffle, it's still good, but it's just not in, order, right? Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. The mind is a very, very interesting organ. Sorry, that's the brain. The mind merely uses it as a vehicle for itself because, as above, so below. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Asclepius, I was able to find that in a public library, believe it or not. Now that was interesting about Hermes Trismegistus. Interesting little prophecy he has there. One could almost think that it's describing the current situation of the world. He lazily says to Octavia.
Oh wait, what does he do now? I'm sorry, I'm running that scene myself out of character. It's 6 a.m.
Ah, fair enough. But yeah, he just mentions a, for your character, well-known Hermetic text called the Asclepius, where Hermes basically tells Asclepius about the future, and people will lose faith. All the workings of the heavens that are reflected in Egypt will, it basically describes in some terms the state of like society and how the humans view magic and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that you can find even in normal libraries. But yeah, I've been reading that one. Very interesting. A
Yeah.
lot of scary parallels I'm seeing currently, but then again, maybe it's a timeless warning.
Regardless, a lot of times it is good to even look at the mundane shit and see what you can find from it.
Yeah, that and he picks up his axe and points at the runes. These, I found it in a mundane ass bookshop, the book that had those, and then I was able to view the sphere from different angles, and then I realized that guy, he's looking at it from a certain angle, and I've been able to. I had to modify them a bit. They were a bit off,
Who's
but
off?
only a few strokes here and there, and the power started flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Runes. It's very basic. I won't lie. It's probably very bitch ass basic in comparison to what you're doing, but
Hey,
They're
no.
cool
Don't
though.
sell yourself short. Never sell yourself short. There are a lot, just like in math, I realized this. There are a lot of ways to get to the same answer. That
many roads lead to Rome.
exactly. Like,
And I put it that way. Normally, when I create a route, I also create the fitting runes for it, or combination runes, and I discovered that there are certain rules to them. Like you have to assemble them shins and not wither shins, which is clockwise and not anti-clockwise.
okay.
Weirdly enough, the symbol for the worm is a spiral that goes anti-clockwise, while the one representation I found before it went mad was clockwise, and and stuff like that. That
You went
put it
mad?
that worm went.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
yes, the
Oh,
worm
oh, that's what we're
is
talking
entropy
about.
gone
Oh yeah.
mad.
This is confusing, man. Just very
But
confusing.
yeah, but yes. Anyway, and there are certain ways, and I even discovered that uh, there are certain rules and matrices and things to follow. So, and he just starts giggling for all the mysticism that I used in it. I still use the scientific method because I knew I had it when I was able to reproduce it at least 3 times. Why 3 times? Because we are mostly working in a three-dimensional. I mean, what we are seeing, feeling, and experiencing tends to be three-dimensional,
Science,
even though
man.
there are other forces
This shit
about it.
works.
It works,
Yeah.
but yeah, mind you, there were definitely also some situations where it almost backfired. But live and
Yeah.
learn, live and learn.
Yeah. Eh, I don't want to talk about that.
Who knows? Maybe at some point I'll be able to call myself a scientific mystic, but I think though that's still a bit off.
A scientistic. Oh, that sounds weird. Nah, not working.
But yeah, but yeah, yes, there exists a road that allows you to push people along their path to awakening. However, it depends very much how you go about it. And for me, it was always important not to violate somebody's agency unless they were violating mine.
Well, maybe we should meet Jessie's sister and see if she's, susceptible. Since he
Well,
wants to awaken
if
her.
anything, she should. Uh, I have heard that there are methods that you can more gently ease sleepers into a sort of half sleep state, you know, and metaphorically speaking. And from there, I would say it would still be just proper, if Jessie would want to do that, to offer her the choice. I wouldn't want to fist it upon anyone. With
Fisted.
me, it happened. Keep your mind out of the gutter, just for 5 seconds,
Well,
please.
it's not my fault if you're wording it like that, dude.
Well, German is my mother tongue, so I'm just using the English I learnt at school
You
and
learned
from a
fisting
few
at
teachers.
school? Well, German schools are interesting.
No, not fisting, but I'll be more than happy to acquaint my fist with your face if you don't stop.
Oh shit. Guys, I'm about to knock out.
Yes, but anyway, I just want to let you know I'm willing to swallow a lot of shit, but I'm not taking all of it. I haven't gone through. I haven't survived what I have here just to constantly get myself insulted. So please, just let it be.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You know what? I've just forgotten what I said. So where were we?
I don't know, man. Just have a donut.
The sun's coming up.
Yeah, donuts.
Yeah,
Here, Octavia, have one.
okay. Fucking takes that shit, starts nibbling on it.
I think we should be ending it. Like, we're going for over 2 hours,
Yes,
guys.
yes, please. It's 30.
Yeah, I would say we cut it there and just say that everyone goes their way at the end.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna sleep on the bike because, Jesse's on my bed sleeping at the moment.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have put him in the bed, left him in the floor,
Well,
damn it.
I'm not a savage, okay? Anyway, so unless there are some
exactly.
last minute declarations, we can
No,
do the
No.
outro. Okay, thank you, players, for playing and watchers for watching. See you next time in Orlando Ascended.